This is Ofilia Roen on my persuasive speech. Intelligent design should be taught in public schools. We will now pan the audience.
Does it? Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming. So hopefully you'll get a little something out of this. The first thing I want to talk about today is what we learn in school. School is all about learning and learning as much as we can. The best kinds of schools, first of all, teach you how to learn. They give you all the tools that you need to learn. And then they teach you to think for yourself and give you all the information that you need. When it comes to the origin of life, including in biology classes, when it comes to the origin of life, there's only one theory that's taught, and that's the theory of evolution. There has been a lot of real opposition to teaching just one theory. And there's even been so much as legislation that has been put in place in different states, not only to teach evolution, but to also teach other things such as intelligent design and creationism. And so we're going to talk about that today. Intelligent design and creationism should be taught in public schools, side by side with the theory of evolution, in order to provide a well-rounded education and to allow students to become critical thinkers. We're going to look at why it's beneficial to do this. We're also going to look at why it's beneficial to not just teach the evolutionary approach, but also look at who supports learning all the different kinds of theories, and also look at proposed legislation. We will talk about what are some things that you can do as a parent to get that information to your kids also. So this is the fact. The fact of the matter is students in public schools are only taught one thing, and that's the theory of evolution. There is support for teaching more than one in public schools, and there have been proposed legislation, as I said before. In the CQ Research, which is a periodical that was dated back in 1997, it explains where the state of Alabama, what they actually did was put a little post-it or a sticker in all of their biology books. And basically what that says is, evolution is a theory, they said, and no one was present when life first appeared on Earth. And it goes on to say the word evolution can mean different things. It can mean change in plants, animals, that kind of things. And if there are still many unanswered questions. What I like about the little sticker that they put in the biology books is it goes on to say study hard, keep an open mind, and someday you will be able to offer help towards theories on how living life appeared on Earth. According to a different research periodical dated in 2005, many states have proposed legislation to be able to teach alternatives to the theory of evolution. Legislation that would require that criticism of evolution also be taught, because it's out there. And then legislation that would require teaching biblical creationism. And other proposals also call for, like what Alabama did in putting their stickers, those kinds of stickers, in their books. So I say all that to say, critics of evolution, or critics of design, intelligent design, and creationism say that those things are not based on science. Well, I have a couple of things that I want to talk about those. According to the website called Answers in Genesis, dated back in February of 2008, it states that some form of faith, religion, is required to believe in creation, and some form of faith is required to believe in evolution. The Answers in Genesis website also goes on to talk about two kinds of sciences. There's observational science and there's origin science. When we talk about observational science, or operational science is what it's also called, it's things that we can see every day. So we can see how a plant grows, how a tree grows, how animals migrate. We can see all those kinds of things. So that is the same as any other scientist, whether you believe in creationism or evolutionism. The thing that the place where they differ at is the origins science. So basically what it says, origin science requires extrapolation beyond presently acquired data. In other words, it's faith in a story about the unobserved past. Nobody was there to see how the earth was formed. Nobody was there to see how the planet started. Nobody was there. So what they're saying is we can't go back and see that information, so we can't speculate on it. When it comes down to it, all sides of this debate are scientists. They use the scientific method. They have degrees from reputable colleges. To say that other theories are not based on science is just not true. The difference is they have different starting points. Intelligent design starts with somebody, something, not very clear on what that is, but somebody, something created what you see. There is an intelligent design. Creationism starts off that God created. That's their point of their starting point. Then there's also the evolutionists who start with millions of years. They all have science based into them, they just have different starting points. Because both sides of this debate is very, very passionate about what they believe, what can be done? What can be done about it? I think we should teach evolution, we should teach intelligent design, we should teach creationism. Why not? Let students in public schools hear all three sides. I was fortunate that I went to a school in Texas where both creationism and the theory of evolution were taught. We were taught that both sides of both theories had questions and there were unanswered questions. But I remember my biology teaching us that in high school talking about Darwin in the millions of years, but I also remember my biology teacher talking about how other scientists who believe the Bible date back the earth based on what they see in the Bible. So, think about a classroom where only one method is taught. Let's reverse the situation. If only intelligent design was taught and we didn't have anything else, or only creationism was taught, we didn't do anything else, or didn't teach anything else, that's not a situation or a classroom that I would like to attend or that I would want my kids to attend. So here's something else to think about. In an article by Richard Bliss, he works also for the Institute for Creation Research. He looked at a Yale Law School study. What they did was, this particular study was undertaken to determine statistical relationships between kids who study a two-method approach and kids who study a one-method approach. What that means, two-method means that they were taught evolution and creationism, and one method is where they were only taught evolution. He goes on to say that students who studied the two-model approach, and I quote, said, did better in learning, even in the evolutionary data and arguments, than the students who studied just evolution by themselves. Basically, he says that students seem to be more highly motivated and to learn more effectively when they study two approaches. The two-model approach groups seem to develop more critical thinking and thinking habits than those who studied only one model. It's proven studying two models creates, whether it's evolution and creationism, evolution and intelligent design, studying two models provides a well-rounded foundation for kids in public schools. It teaches them to think rather than tell them what to think. Okay, do you guys have any questions? No questions? Question. What do you think about what I just said? Let's go with that. What did you think about what I just said? April?
I tend to, I think I agree with what you said as far as teaching both, because it gives the kids, I mean, they have to delve into it more often and
Right.
decide, you know, here's this opinion, and they actually have to, like you said, think about what they think, and, you know, they have different opinions.
Right.
There's not just one, and that's it.
Right, right. Anybody else with a question?
I know in our public schools, because I'm in a senior high school, and in my youth environment class, only do evolution. We don't do both sides of it, and since my views on it are the creation views, it makes it really hard when they're explaining it. And so I would love it if that's how it was, because I do get both sides of the scenario, and I mean, I agree with what you're saying, because it makes sense to me to do it that way, but I guess our public schools just don't agree in Washington State.
Right.
So, do all public schools in the United States just do evolution?
No, that is a very good question. So, do all public schools in the United States just do evolution? What happens is there's varying states have their policies. Most states do teach evolution. There are a few states, Alabama is one of them, Texas is one of them, Kansas is one of them, where they are encouraged to teach other things also. The other part of that is a lot of, and I can give you a website too, and I'll give it to you in a handout that I'm going to give you. A lot of teachers don't know, who not necessarily agree with evolution, but want to teach it with other stuff too, don't know how to teach evolution. Or the opposite is the case, where they have evolution, but they don't really, or they teach evolution, but they don't necessarily know a lot about intelligent design or creationism, so they want information on that. So one of the websites, Answers in Genesis, and also one of the other one is Institute for Creation Research, gives teachers tools on how to teach both. So that's a really good thing. So in the state of Washington, yes, they are required to teach evolution. So, but that's not to say that you can't learn other stuff, obviously. So, good questions, good comments, thank you. So, here's where I want to go from that is, if you want your children to learn all that they can learn and be exposed to different theories, you can talk with your child's teacher, number one. Let them know where you stand and find out exactly what's taught in school. Ask your teacher, what do you teach in regards to the origin of life? Tell them, explain to them, you are interested in having your child learn more than one theory. What can you do to help them to do that? Or if they say we are required by law, whatever it is that we can't do that, then there are, in the handout that I'm going to give you, there are some places that you can go and look at information about that. I have listed those in the handouts. Okay, well, that's all the time I have. Thank you very much.